There's a moment in a man's life that nobody warns him about. No signal, no announcement, no dramatic shift you can point to. No one taps him on the shoulder and says, "This is it. You've crossed over." And yet it happens quietly, almost invisibly, not like a transformation, but like something finally settling into place. One day, without realizing when it started, a man notices something different inside himself, not through what he's doing, but through what's no longer there. The tension, gone. The urgency, faded. That constant internal pressure to prove something, to be seen, to be chosen, disappears. And that's when it hits him. He's no longer trying to seduce, not because desire is gone, not because he's bitter, not because life drained him, but because something inside him has stabilized. He speaks less, not out of insecurity, but precision. He observes more, not out of suspicion, but clarity. He listens without rehearsing his next move. For the first time, he's not living in anticipation of how he's being perceived. And here's where it gets interesting. Right at that moment, when he stops trying, something unexpected happens. He becomes more attractive, not in a loud, attention-seeking way, not in a way that demands validation, but in a deeper way, a quieter way, a way that pulls people in instead of pushing for their attention. Most men experience this shift, but they can't explain it. They just feel it. Conversations change. Energy shifts. Women respond differently, not louder, not more obvious, but more intentional, more curious, more aware. And from the outside, nothing has changed. Same face, same body, same life. No new tricks, no new strategies, no alpha techniques. He didn't add anything. He simply stopped trying. And that's dangerous knowledge because the world teaches men the opposite. It tells you to attract, you must act. To seduce, you must initiate. To be valued, you must prove yourself. Talk more, show more, explain more, perform better. And in your younger years, that works. Effort hides insecurity. Energy masks instability. Intensity replaces depth, but only for a while, because eventually attraction stops responding to effort. It starts responding to something else, presence. It's no longer what you do that pulls people in. It's what you radiate when you're doing nothing at all. The mature man understands this. He no longer operates from a place of justification. He doesn't explain himself. He doesn't defend his silence. He doesn't rush to clarify who he is. He's not trying to control how he's perceived. He's not performing a version of himself just to be accepted. And the moment he steps out of that performance, everything shifts. You can feel it instantly. In conversation, most men rush to fill silence. They panic in pauses. They explain before being asked. They reassure before doubt even exists. They try to control perception. But the mature man, he allows space. He lets silence breathe. He lets meaning unfold slowly. He's not afraid of uncertainty or emptiness. And here's the truth most men miss. Emptiness, when you're comfortable inside it, becomes depth. In a world where everyone talks too much, the man who speaks less becomes heard. In a world flooded with noise, the man who simplifies becomes noticed. He doesn't attract because he intensifies. He attracts because nothing about him feels forced. Nothing feels like compensation. And women feel this instantly, even if they can't explain it. They sense he's not chasing approval, not fishing for validation, not trying to win the interaction. He's just there, and that creates a rare emotional response. Relief. Around him, there's no pressure, no need to perform, no need to manage his ego, no need to keep the conversation alive. The energy slows down, silence isn't awkward, eye contact isn't demanding, and that calm, it's rare, and what's rare becomes valuable. But it goes deeper than that. This man has lived. He's experienced relationships that didn't last. He's felt disappointment. He's adjusted expectations. He's learned, often painfully, that intensity doesn't equal connection. Urgency doesn't create depth. Forcing outcomes destroys trust. So now he doesn't force anything. He doesn't rush intimacy. He doesn't project fantasies onto strangers. He lets people reveal themselves over time. And that restraint, most people read it as confidence. Because in a world that moves fast, the man who embraces slowness sets the rhythm. Now listen carefully, because this is where most men get it wrong. When a mature man seems distant, it's not rejection, it's discernment. He's not withdrawing, he's choosing where his energy goes, choosing who deserves access, choosing what actually matters, because he understands something most men don't. Attention is expensive. Emotional availability has a cost, and he no longer spends it blindly. That quiet selectivity, it creates value, not through games, not through manipulation, but through alignment. You'll see it in simple moments, at a cafe, in a casual interaction, in a random encounter. He's not searching for the perfect line, not trying to impress. He's grounded, and that grounding is felt immediately. That's why some women lean in more when he does less, not because effort disappeared, but because tension did. This isn't a trick. It's not a strategy. It's a consequence. When striving fades, presence takes over, and presence is magnetic. But here's the part most men aren't ready to hear. He doesn't attract everyone, and he doesn't want to. He attracts those who can feel depth, those who value calm over chaos, those who recognize restraint as strength. And that's not a limitation. That's a filter. Because at this stage of life, seduction isn't about gaining. It's about not betraying yourself, not exaggerating, not apologizing for existing, not reshaping who you are to fit someone else's expectations. The moment a man stops betraying himself, everything becomes clear. His boundaries, his values, his standards, and that clarity, it's deeply attractive. Most people misunderstand this phase. They think he's lost something, but the truth is, he's finally stopped pretending. He's no longer auditioning, no longer asking to be chosen. He's already standing in his place. And that's the moment everything changes. Because real attraction isn't built through effort. It's revealed through alignment. So if this hit something inside you, if you felt that quiet recognition, it's not random. It means you're either entering this phase or you're already living it. And if you want to go deeper into this, understanding presence, power, and the psychology behind real attraction, subscribe to Love, Lies, and Reality, because this is where most men wake up, but very few truly understand what's happening. And before you leave, tell me this in the comments. When did you first notice that you no longer needed to try the way you once did? That moment says everything. We'll talk again soon.